All right, I'm back. We got the wee puppy Lemmy Winks. She is doing good, doing well. A little bit confused about what the hell's going on right now, but she's doing good. For those of you, interested in a little pup date, she is getting large. If you've been watching her progression, um, you'll know she started out as a one-hand puppy, and now she's kind of working her way into a two-hand uh, weenie here. So she's definitely the big weenie now. I don't know how much she's gonna keep growing, but she's doing good, doing well, and still a little shit and a troublemaker. All right, fuck out of here. Okay, let's introduce the shaverage. We're going with a Holy Mountain beer yet again. Been ordering a lot of Holy Mountain lately. It's that time of year. Holy Mountain out of Seattle, Washington. My favorite brewery. This one is their Festbier, which is an Oktoberfest style beer. Oktoberfest is kind of like an umbrella of beer styles, really. This one, they say it's a Munich style Fest beer. It's really like a Pilsner. Looks like it's coming in at 5.8 ABV. They're not going to give us any more details than that. Let's go ahead and crack it and give some impressions on it. I always like cracking a beer, getting that crispy crack, and then seeing like that little bit of like CO2 get released into the air, or vapor, or whatever the hell it is, but it almost it gives you the feeling of like the ultimate freshness. And there we go, a light straw golden color. Very good looking from this side. Very appetizing, very refreshing. I got it in this little Mosskrog jug here. This is a half-liter cup. Room for head, but this one doesn't have much of that, as you can see. Let's go ahead and give it a sniff. A lot of floral aspects to the nose on this one. Cheers. All right. So, on first impression, it does have that very low, slight sweetness. It is quite bready, biscuity. Has some spicy floral hops going on. Very traditional. But I would say the hop character, the hop presence, is kind of dialed up. And this is something that a lot of American breweries do with traditional styles. They will hop up they'll ramp up the hop content. So the hop presence is there more so than what you would find in a traditional style. But still very crushable. Alright, moving on. Today we're giving some first impressions on Subtle Art Soap Co. This one was sent to me. I'm borrowing it from Brian, the Wet Shave Experience. Please go check out Brian, my brother in wet shaving. Very good guy. He has an awesome YouTube channel. Can't say up and comer anymore. He's paid his dues. He's been doing his thing steady for a while now. Great channel. Lots of different products being utilized. Good impressions. Family friendly. I mean, really good channel. Please go check him out and show some love to Brian over there at the Wet Shave Experience. I will tag his channel below in the description of the video. Alright, Subtle Art Soap Co. This one comes to us from Rotterdam, New York. We can see on the back the ingredients here. This is a vegan soap, so non-tallow. A somewhat simple ingredients list: distilled water, stearic acid, RSPO palm oil, potassium hydroxide, cocoa butter, shea butter, vegetable glycerin, fragrance, mango butter, and sodium hydroxide. So this is his, what he calls triple butter shave soap, and that is the cocoa butter, shea butter, and mango butter. 4 ounces coming to you at $15. There's a look at the soap there. Kind of a typical chunky, uneven textured pour there. It is a soft crope. You can press into it rather easily. So I wouldn't really call this one firm. It's not necessarily a cream, but it's definitely a soft crope. It's the maple bourbon scent, and we will be talking more about that shortly. All right, so let's get a look at the lather here. You could see in this 3D printed shave bowl, Roger Quintero designs, printed by Tim DeLette, if I'm not mistaken. This was a gift from Marion the Barbarian in the USPS colorway because I am an employee of the Postal Service. This here is the Trotter Handcrafts brush right here with the T1 badger knot on top. Beautiful blue and black and a little bit of like smoky gray in there as well. Beautiful, beautiful brush. I will say I whipped up one hell of a shiny, luxurious lather, and normally it's hard to get the shine on camera with my lighting being kind of more of a directly down rather than a forward-facing light, but it is really shiny. This lather kind of reminds me of the first time I ever used Heritage Hill Shave Co. Just super duper shiny, and it came on real early into the lather, like before it was fully truly hydrated. The shine was already there. I don't know if this is something, just characteristic of a high butter shave soap, but very shiny. Something that was immediately noticeable. Still a little bit sick, but I have all my, I can still smell everything and taste everything, so no problems there. We're going to be using this ugly duckling from the razor company. This is their new safety razor offering. I forgot who makes it for them, but definitely not the most handsome razor design in the world. I'm pretty vocal about not being a fan of the looks of this one, but if I remember correctly, it gave a decent shave. This one has been on loan to Brian over at the Wet Shave Experience for a while. Me and him kind of swapped razors, and we were both negligent of sending those razors back to each other. So he's had it for a long time, and I had one of his razors for a long time. But it's finally back in the den, so let's give it another use. Alright, enough talking. If I did not mention, Subtle Art Soap Co. is veteran owned and operated. They put that right on the label there. That's something that I think is very cool. Something to be supportive about. Let's talk a little bit about the scent. The scent notes on this one, it says oak barrel aged bourbon with an earthy, sweet maple syrup finish. And I tried to copy that directly from the wet shaving store website where it was being sold. Excuse me. So that sounds really good. If you're just going off the description, if you're a fan of bourbon, if you're a fan of maple or perhaps gourmand scents on the sweeter side, that sounds really good. To me, that's something that I would, if I was a betting man, I would say like that's right up my alley. Something that I can almost guarantee I will enjoy. And I'm sure I would have enjoyed it if it smelt anything like maple bourbon. So what I get off this, and this is our descent into the negative portion of the video. As a matter of fact, before we tie off our anchors at the top of the cavern, and let's go ahead and let's go ahead and take time to kiss our family and say a prayer. Go ahead and reflect on some of the good things that we've had in life. No, it's not that serious. But this lather was very easy to whip up. Like I said, it took a fair amount of water, and it was shiny really early on in the lather making process. I typically load pretty heavy on my first impressions of a product. Just so you guys know, this has like a second or third use Polsilver Blade, which is my absolute favorite blade. So I'm definitely giving this razor a fair shake, because I don't really have a lot of good to say about this one either. But I'm using my absolute favorite blade, so that's not the issue. Okay, so the lather was really easy to make. It looks good. It feels good on the skin. It has a nice weight to it. It has, like a medium high density, which is a good thing. It feels luxurious. It's very shiny. It looks luxurious. And it was easy to whip up. So a lot of good to be said with the appearance of the lather. And I fully expect it to perform well, considering the way that it lathered up and the way it looks. I'm expecting performance to be a home run, just being honest. I have like 3 days of growth as well. I know I uploaded a video today, but that video was from days ago, so I have about 3 days of growth. So I think I've said what there is to be said about the positives before actually using the soap, although pass one is going well. So now let's go ahead and descend into the negative portion. I am a big fan of the fragrances of shave soaps. As a matter of fact, I've said multiple times when I've been asked what is the most important aspect of a shaving soap to you. Is it the slickness, the density, the quote-unquote protection that some people believe in? I do not. To me, the most important aspect of a shaving soap is the fragrance. I think I can get a good shave with almost anything at this point in my wet shaving journey. I've been doing this a long time, many years, and no matter what razor I'm using, I usually do a pretty good job. Not to toot my own horn, I'm just throwing my credentials, putting my credentials on the table for people that might not be familiar with me. So, the performance of a soap is not that important to me. I can get a good shave with a shitty soap. What is important to me is the fragrance. I put a lot of stake in how enjoyable the scent is. This one here, it's not that it lacks scent strength. As a matter of fact, it's easily medium scent strength, if not a little over medium. It's not that it lacks scent strength. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more water to this, just just the tips. I'm just dipping the tips and putting just a little bit more water in this. After seeing it on the skin, feeling it on the skin, I know that this lather could take a little bit more moisture. So yeah, the real problem is that it smells nothing of maple, nothing of bourbon, and as a matter of fact, it doesn't even smell gourmand. It doesn't smell of oak or wood. It doesn't smell of generic sweetness. That could be mistaken for maple. It doesn't smell like they added fragrance oil whatsoever. And now, at this point, you're probably questioning yourself, how does it smell? How does it have medium scent strength, but it doesn't smell like they added fragrance oil? Well, I'll tell you. Wet shaving, as long as I have wet shaved, you become familiar with certain soaps along the way that have a base funk. You'll hear this term as you go through your wet shaving journey. Base funk is when the ingredients kind of overpower the fragrance oils and you can smell the raw soap pre-fragrance oils or essential oils or whatever the artisan chooses to use. In this case, I can only smell the base. Now the base isn't like rancid or funky, for a lack of a better term, but I know what base funk smells like, and I pretty much am only smelling base funk. Like, I'm pretty much only smelling the soap base, the ingredients. I don't smell anything that is remotely close to oak barrel aged bourbon, which is usually like a woody, vanilla, boozy. Let me take a swig. Boozy is typically a little sharper, and it kind of cuts through as real booze does. Not all bourbon, whiskey, rum, cognac scents are boozy per se. A lot of times when they use those specific liquors, they're referring to like a aspect of sweetness that you might find in that liquor. They're not all boozy per se. This one doesn't smell boozy and it doesn't smell sweet. It's neither. When it comes to maple, it doesn't smell like maple. It doesn't smell like any other kind of sweetness. I know in the write-up it mentioned something about earthy. Not earthy either. It's undescribably base funk, or not undescribably. It's undoubtedly base funk. Like I said, it doesn't smell bad, but it's like whatever percentage of fragrance oil they put in there wasn't enough to overpower the base funk. And I don't know if it just burned off or it was so light that is undetectable to me. But either way, it's not there to be enjoyed. I can't pick up anything that smells remotely like bourbon or maple. So, definitely a real bummer when it comes to the scent on this one. Performance, I am almost done with the shave. Now doing my against the grain pass. Performance is fantastic. I think it has all the slickness, original and residual, that I would ever need. It has a nice density to it. Feels luxurious. Looks luxurious. I'd say it's a good vegan soap base. And for $15 for 4 ounces, a great value. I'd say charge me $17, $18 and ramp up the fragrance oil percentage. I need to smell what you're selling me. Just being honest. This smells like an unscented soap. But instead of being truly unscented and truly fragrance free, it smells like base funk. So there is work to be done here. I think the performance, you really don't need to go anywhere from here. Great performance. But definitely something to be addressed is that base funk and the percentage of fragrance oil utilized. Now I know you got a caveat that I'm sick, but I'm not without my sense of smell. So, I mean, take this opinion with a grain of salt. That's what I would do if I was unfamiliar with DK Damn Fine Shave. But if you've been around a while, you're probably used to this from me. And you know that I don't really bullshit. I didn't pay for this, but I also didn't get it sent to me for review. I'm just borrowing it from a friend. Completely unbiased, unbought opinions. So, very good shave though. We got the Lancaster Razor Works Black Sheep Towel in Blurple. Always nice to wipe down with a Lancaster Black Sheep Towel. Very plush, very luxurious. An item, an accessory in the shave den that you don't know that you need until after you've tried it. Once you try it, you'll know that you don't want to shave without this. Alright, let's put this to the side. I know this video went a bit long, had a lot of opinions to express in this one, and I've had a few drinks. Just got done watching BBS.live. That was a great show, fellas. Let's go ahead and grab another sip here. Alright, since I didn't have a matching aftershave product, we're going with Lakewood Soap Company Miss Powell's Mellow Honey Mash Aftershave Balm. And you can see there a bit of the ingredients and whatnot. Give this one a good shake. This one is a little bit of a thicker balm, if I remember correctly. We're going to do about that much there. Miss Powell's Honey Mash is a whiskey scented aftershave balm. And this one is probably the most realistic whiskey bourbon scent I've ever smelled, because it has a way of actually kind of putting the tingle, the tinge that you would get up the nostrils when you put your nose to a dram of whiskey. It kind of has that burn almost. Not really truly, but it's similar in it, it's comparable. This one has great sweetness. It's a very, very good whiskey scent, and this one definitely has that boozy kick to it. Really nice. Alright guys, that is a great way to cap off a great shave. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of this. Cheers guys, I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.